The greatest of all time, Bleach, is coming back fall 2022. So to honor that, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite characters from the series. Number 10, Rukia. People constantly underestimate and understate Rukia's entire role in the Bleach story. At first she was kind of a plot device, something that everyone just had to save. But then we learned more about her past and her backstory with Renji, her backstory with the former captain, and Rukia fully became a character. Through Rukia we got to learn more about Shinigami overall, and we learned that they really are just people who had a second chance at life and are starting anew. Not to mention her complex relationship with her brother, who wants to kill her but save her at the same time. It's a very complicated relationship that they have. Rukia definitely had a slow build-up as a character. She was almost a damsel in distress in a way in the beginning, but then she had a natural progression into becoming a strong character. Number 9, Mayuri. Take the smart character trope and pull it to its ultimate extreme, and then you have a character like Mayuri. Mayuri's entire character revolves around science. This is definitely more of a personal choice. I don't see a ton of love out there for Mayuri, even though he has some of the most interesting and complex battles in the entire show of Bleach. People probably judge him based on his more creepy aesthetic, but it definitely suits his character, especially with his giant baby. Whenever Mayuri's pushed into a corner, it's always interesting to see how he's going to handle the situation because he doesn't use conventional means. Mayuri's fights changed the formula of Bleach. Instead of being an absolute power match, it's based on who has the most intellect. I'm definitely looking forward to Mayuri getting his time to shine when his best fight gets animated in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Number 8, Komamura. Komamura definitely gets the most hate out of all the captains in the Gotei 13. Simply because a lot of people think he's weak, low-tier trash, and that his Bankai isn't good. This is definitely a closed-minded take, because if the fight is done well, even if a character comes out losing, it'll still be a good fight for that character. Komamura gets some of the best humanizing moments, which is ironic to say because he's, a dog, wolf man.
But it's true. At the end of the day, we got to see him go through the emotional turmoils, the ups and downs of losing a close friend, basically a brother to him. The only one who would look past his appearance no matter what.
Not only did he lose that person, but he found out that the person was lying to him the entire time. Never believed anything he truly said. Komamura might be a weak character overall, power scaling wise, sure, but he's one of the best characters from a written standpoint. Number 7, Aizen. Aizen is by far the best villain in Bleach. In fact, he is one of the best villains in Shonen overall. Some people right now might be thinking to themselves, wait, what about Yuha? Well, the thing is, Aizen's character arc from start to finish was way better executed than Yuha's was. What made Aizen different was we got a slow build up to his character. The villain wasn't revealed to us right away, we got to see hints at the villain. And even after the entire fake Karakura Town arc, in the 1,000-Year Blood War, we still don't know everything about Aizen. And that's what makes him such an interesting character that people obsess over. Looking back in the grand scheme of things, I just think that Aizen's character went out with a bang and Yuha's went out with a whimper. Number 6, Kiraku. There are a lot of people who sleep on Kiraku, but I feel like he's a perfect example of slowly building a character throughout a long-running series. A lot of characters in Bleach kind of have one trait, where they do kind of remain the same throughout the story. But Kiraku naturally develops and changes. The Kiraku we see at the end of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc is nowhere near the same as the Kiraku we meet at the beginning of the story. Kiraku's whole story is him becoming mature, him taking up the mantle of his old friends who passed, and sometimes the one who doesn't want to lead is always the one most fitted to do so. It makes perfect sense for Kiraku's character to be the sole survivor of his friends, the one who carries on their burdens to the very end. Number 5, Gin. In my opinion, one word describes Gin's character. Sacrifice. Gin's betrayal of Aizen is actually one of the most shocking moments in the Bleach story, because there wasn't a lot of foreshadowing for it. Gin basically had to fool everyone to fool someone who knows everything like Aizen. Gin's character throughout the entire show was surrounded in mystery, so it kind of made sense that his character was hiding a huge secret. The amount of resolve Gin's character had to not only work under Aizen, who he vowed to kill from an early age, but keep working under him and keep this secret for so long, I feel like is definitely understated because the moment that happened was so quick. I wish there was more light novels or some other information that dived into this character more so we could learn more about him. He's definitely one of the characters that Kubo kind of forgot about. Number 4, Ulquiorra. one of the best Arrancar, if not the best Arrancar. What made him stand out amongst his predecessors was the fact that he actually developed into a character. When we first meet him, his whole character is basically about inciting fear. He constantly talks down to his opponent as if he views him as nothing other than trash. But then in his final moments, we get him asking Orihime if she's afraid of him. This shows how much Ulquiorra's character changed in such a short amount of time. Even Orihime became more trusting of him naturally. She viewed him as another creature with compassion, a living soul. Ulquiorra's send-off and entire ending was handled in the most perfect way it could. Kubo basically ended up flipping the script and making Ichigo out to be this demon monster, and Ulquiorra was actually the one saving and protecting everyone. It's such a sharp contrast to the beginning of Ulquiorra's character that I feel like it's such a great send-off. Number 3. Haribel. Haribel is definitely the most underrated out of all the Arrancar. Something Haribel demonstrated early on which set her apart from other Arrancars was she had compassion. She had the ability to work with others and communicate. This isn't something very common in Arrancars, especially when they're in their Bastio Lower Day form. But right from her introduction, she met these 3 weaker characters, and instead of taking them out and becoming stronger herself, she decides to bring them with her and protect them, putting herself more at risk. She found a way to turn their weakness into strength. The entire reason Haribel even teamed up with Aizen in the first place was actually so she could obtain this power to protect the 3 people that she held closest to her. Number 2. Soifan. A lot of times overlooked for her more abrasive attitude, I actually think that Soifan is one of the most dynamic characters in Bleach. This is because she's one of the most technical characters. All of her abilities either hinder her or require multiple steps. She's also a pretty complex character. Yeah, she's extremely loyal to the Cerate, but that's only because her master Yoriichi abandoned her. She even basically confessed to Yoriichi that if Yoriichi took her with her, she would have gladly left the Cerate, left everything behind. In a lot of ways, the Cerate was all she had left after the one who she loved most just straight up abandoned her. Soifan's character was very much highlighted in the beginning. Towards the end of the series, she doesn't get as much focus, but at least she does get some type of fight with Omeda during the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Number 1. Ikkaku. Alright, this is where the list gets personal, but I don't care. I gotta get this off my chest. Ikkaku is like an onion. He has so many layers to his character. He has aspirations of becoming just as strong as his captain, but then at the same time he doesn't want those aspirations to become true because he wants to continue working under the man who changed his life. And then we have the moment with his Bankai, where he finally reveals his Bankai after hiding it for so long, but it's so overpowered, the most broken Bankai in the verse, that it literally destroys itself. Which unfortunately led to Ikkaku running around in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc not really having anything to do because he doesn't have any powers, but that's completely besides the point. Ikkaku definitely had a ton of build up throughout the show, and it all was just forgotten for whatever reason. Definitely an underutilized character, most underrated character, and by far the best character. Of course, the only answer.